think we culturally work too much. We don't rest nearly enough. And this isn't just, I mean, data and statistics will say it. Everybody is on some sort of plan for health and wellness improvement. And I think a lot of it can just come down to not overscheduling ourselves and getting good rest and good sleep, drinking our water.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's kind of it. I think, again, the Europeans, they get a little bit, and I wouldn't just say Europeans, but other, like I've traveled to the Caribbean. There's a different way of just kind of bobbing around and working through life and centering, a sense of self and belonging and rest.
Yeah.
Rest.
Cass, it's great to have you joining us.
Thank
Tell me,
you.
how are you in this MSP world? How are you in this IT world?
Life is good for me. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. I get to sit on the cusp of organizational development, leadership development, current events, technology, AI, cybersecurity. If that was all a Venn diagram, I'm like right in the middle of all of it. So life is good. There's always something to learn, always something
Oh, yeah.
to investigate, but then always a little bit of social and cultural, implications. Because I think technology is one thing, the way that we use it is a whole nother thing. And then also, how does it
Right.
impact us from a day to day standpoint? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a bad gig. It's not a bad life here.
Not at all. How long have you been in the technology space?
So about 4 years. Before that, I
Yeah.
actually came from event services and marketing and have a really strong background in organizational development. That's what my master's degree is in from
Mm,
the University of Oklahoma.
hell
We got
yeah.
a big game this weekend, so I don't know when this will air, but
Nice.
hopefully I will be shouting from the rooftops for Sooner Nation over here. But yeah, it's been 4 years that I've been working in the channel, always
Okay.
interested in technology, always, a big social media user. I
Mm.
was an OG when it came to Facebook. I used to have a live journal. I
Oh,
don't know if
really?
anybody remembers that. But always been a writer and communicator, and seeing the way that technology changes our lives is just really cool.
That's very cool. Now we do have to take a moment here. So my youngest son goes to USC, the Trojans in Southern California. Did not the coach Riley leave Oklahoma to go to
He
USC?
did. He did.
I'm sorry to bring it
I
up.
know, I
Yeah,
know. It's okay. We're
yeah,
having a pretty
yeah.
decent season.
Oh
And
yeah,
so, hey, not everything can be the way that we want every single time, but USC is a great program.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but you know,
So
we're
the
Sooners over
time
here.
for sure, and I think what will be interesting is I'm not the biggest college football knowledge person in the world. My boy started the first year. Riley was there, and Caleb was there. And I think Caleb Williams, the quarterback, will make any coach look great. Now that Caleb's gone, how is he going to fare, and how is USC going to fare in the Big Ten? I don't know if that's
Ooh,
your
that's
area
not.
of
Listen,
conversation.
I once the WNBA finals are over, I will be
Yes,
back in
yes,
football season. But
I
I
got you.
I have been following it. Listen. At one point in the season, it was anything but the fever. That was how I felt. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
now I don't know if you watched the game last night, but, like, Asia Wilson is killing it.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
is
Nice.
four-time MVP. And I think there's just something about the, like, grace in her play, and she's just a
Yeah,
cool, like, chick to watch. But then
yeah.
also, I don't know, those Mercury fans, I once Dallas was out of it, I was kinda like, "I gotta find
You're
somebody else
kind
to root for."
now, are you an athlete yourself?
I was an athlete for a little while. So I come from a basketball family. Both my parents actually
Yeah,
played collegiate ball. I'm the only one
yeah.
who didn't play ball in college out of
Okay.
all the kids. My sister
Yeah,
and my brother both played. My sister at Southeast Missouri State, and then my brother at Rollins College, and he played a little bit overseas as well. Um,
hell yeah.
and yeah, but I played softball a little bit, but I actually was a singer and a thespian.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I chose
Yeah.
the theater route, which it worked out well for me because now I talk for a living, so
Yeah,
it's good.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's cool. Yeah, I am none of the above. My boys, one of them sings in theater and he living in France right now, just joined a
So
choir over there.
cool.
Yeah, I was really proud of him with, putting himself out there. He goes to this choir audition in Toulouse, France, and he's like, I speak French, obviously. I feel comfortable there. Singing will be a whole different
Yeah.
ballgame. And so he went to the not the rehearsal, the tryout, whatever those audition. And he'd been, he's done lots of singing in the United States. He said it was totally different how they audition there. So he was like, well, what kind of piece should I choose? What should I do here? What should I do there? They're just not nearly as competitive.
Interesting.
He said, I go to audition in the US, for something high school, college, whatever, and
Mhm.
I'm shaking in my boots and people are killers and they're awesome and your selection and all the things mattered. He said, I sang like, 20 seconds of mine and they're like, oh yeah, that sounded really good. Yeah, you're good. He's like, what? That's it?
I
So
kinda
I
love
said,
that. There's
yeah.
something
Oh yeah.
about just showing up and doing your best and still being
Yeah.
accepted that is we can learn a
Yeah.
little bit about that as Americans.
That's been his observation.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old, so he pushes and challenges, traditional political views, so society views, and it's really fun to start getting his takes on things. But boy, he at this stage of his life, he's like, yeah, I think the Europeans have figured out a style of living that we could all learn something
Yeah,
from.
there's something I'm
So
a big believer in understanding how work fits into your life and also how you can fit life into your work. I think we culturally work too much. We don't rest nearly
yeah,
enough. And this isn't just, I mean,
yeah,
data and statistics will say it. Everybody is on some sort of plan for health and wellness improvement. And I think a lot of it can just come down to not overscheduling ourselves and getting good rest and good sleep, drinking our water.
yeah. There you go. There you
And
go.
that's kind of it. I think again, the Europeans they get a little bit, and I wouldn't just say Europeans, but other like I've traveled to the Caribbean. There's a different way of just kind of
Yeah,
bobbing around and working through life and centering, a sense of self and belonging and rest.
yeah.
Rest.
There's no doubt. I had the opportunity many years ago to have some clients in Australia
Mhm.
and got to go there like 10, 12, 13 times in like a 3-year period. It was way too much. But they operated as MSPs much different than we do.
Yeah.
And now I have a relative who's lived in Australia majority of her adult life. And she's taking naps in the middle of the day. She's, eating foods completely different than the foods we eat. It just, and, being an American living there, she's just like, it's not, you can't
I'm not
compare.
gonna lie, I'm
Y-
a big fan of the nap in the middle of the day. Like, schedule white
Yeah.
space on your calendar, like blank space. I think
Yeah.
sometimes and outsourcing items, right? One of the things that I always talk
Yes.
about is it brings me no joy to clean my house. I hate it. I don't want to do it. There's
Right.
certain people who they put on the music, they mop, they do all the things.
Right.
No, I'm going to pay somebody to do that, but I'm not going to pay
Yes.
somebody to do it so that I can fill my time with something else. I'm going to sit and chill and not have
Yes.
enjoy that free time that it fills up for me. So I think more people need
Yeah.
to and there comes a certain amount of privilege with that, right? Not everybody can afford,
Oh,
but there's
sure.
definitely certain things, especially with AI automations and
Yes.
create blank space on your calendar and rearrange things so that you can actually have a life, don't be so
Yes.
busy building a life that you forget to have one, you know?
Yeah, I two sound bites I'll be taking from that. I love that. I love that. Well, and it brings us to as I was, learning more about you, and I saw one of your domains, one of the areas that you specialize. You have this phrase, "Know better, do
Yeah.
better," and I shared with you. Yeah, my wife uses that phrase constantly in her line of work. What do you mean by that? What does that mean to you? And then what does it mean the business behind it as
Yeah,
well?
so I started Know Better, Do Better Consulting in the pandemic. It started as a
Right.
research consultancy, honestly. I wanted to understand better the ways that what people think they know and what
Mhm.
people actually know, what are the gaps there when it comes to the
Mm.
way that we interact with people and the way that we interact with our organizations and our cultures. I think so often, especially as leaders, we think that the experience people are having is different than what they actually are. And the only way to bridge that gap is to ask questions and be curious and to develop some research around it. So that's really what I started. So the more we know, the better we can do, right? So know better, do
Yeah.
better consulting. Now I've
Yeah.
really leaned into how can interpersonally we know more about ourselves, right? So that we can be better
Mhm.
people. We generally don't get a lot of time to ideate and have introspection and to just kind of reflect on who we are as individuals. And
Mhm.
so how can I better help and facilitate that through learning and development and encouraging you to ask questions about yourself, ask questions about, the why behind the what and really fuel that. So I've bridged it into doing speaking engagements, workshops. You can follow me on social media. I'm all over the place. Basically any social from Substack, TikTok, you can find me. I'm not hard to find.
That's right.
Or hopefully I'm not hard to find because
Yeah,
SEO,
hopefully.
right? But I really do truly believe that we have to be able to what I call whisper to our own chaos, and that starts with having a certain amount of knowing and being able to trust that knowing, especially for women who were sociologically taught not to trust ourselves. So how can we understand our better sense of knowing and have that be intrinsic and then go out in the world and make it a better place?
Okay, man, there's so much to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said something and I want to understand it better.
Mhm.
As women, we're taught to not trust
Yeah.
ourselves. That I haven't heard that. What does that mean? What does that look like?
Ooh, man. How much time do you have? I can sum up my 4 years of undergrad. Um,
Right.
um,
Right.
so, uh, a lot of times when a lot of times men are taught to just exist, right? And have the
Okay, right.
ability to walk into a room and they are just who they are and that's accepted, right? There's not a lot
Right.
of
Right.
outsourcing of identity that comes with traditional senses of manhood. And we can get into what that means and the definition of that
Yeah.
in a whole nother conversation. Whereas women, a lot of our sense of being is found external. We're defined on what we're not compared to men. We're defined on not just who we present as, but even
Mhm.
making decisions. We're taught to look to our partner or in a lot of cases to a husband or a boyfriend.
Mhm.
Even when we're making big life decisions, whether it be around our career, a lot of women go to Google, ChatGPT, their friends, their family, and make those decisions based off of a collective understanding of what is right
Mhm.
rather than an intrinsic, I know what's best for me. Sociologically, we're taught that women don't know how to, they can't be trusted. And that means that you
Oh,
can't trust your own self because I'm taught that women aren't trustworthy.
right. Oh man, that's deep. I
Yeah.
could feel that from the minute you start. I was like, just thinking on a very superficial level, which only looks superficial to me, just because I don't live in the life of a woman. Of how much effort a woman goes into preparing to go somewhere.
Yes.
Where there's
Perfect
do I have this
example.
right? Is this an acceptable outfit to wear? What will other women think? Well, how will men perceive me? Um, I get to
What is
dress
my
like a
safety gonna
dirtbag
look
or whatever.
like? How do I,
Yeah,
is this really who I am, or is this a extension of what I wanna project in the world? And I think we all do that to a certain extent, right? Like,
sure, sure.
wearing a beard, not wearing a beard,
Mhm.
long hair, short hair, all these other kinds of things, but there's a different
Kick-ass mustache or no kick-ass mustache, right?
which is a
I
very
got
nice
you.
mustache, by the way.
We'll be right back with more, but first, here's a quick message from Bering McKinley.
Most MSPs are constantly busy. chasing tickets, projects, and fires. But without structure, it's hard to know if the business is really improving. Vision from Bering McKinley is the system that helps you work on your business, not just in it. It connects leadership strategy with daily execution. Vision aligns people, process, and performance, creating clarity and rhythm from goals to results. And the Vision app brings that structure to life, helping you create policies, track goals, review KPIs, and collaborate with your BMK consultant all in one place. Behind it all, Jetson AI, your assistant inside Vision, helps you find answers, generate insights, and take action faster. With Vision, you gain visibility, accountability, and measurable growth. You're not guessing, you're improving. Vision, Jetson, and the Vision app, your path from strategy to results. Start transforming your business today.
All right, let's get back to the conversation.
Yes. All
Uh,
right.
but it's this idea of what some people would call the pink tax of the extra time, energy, and money that is required in order to present a specific type of womanhood. And
Yeah.
what does that look like? And I think that getting
Yeah.
ready is such an example, a great example for
Yeah.
a lot of different reasons. One, I mean, I went to an all girls Catholic school for high
Yes.
school,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I'm so sorry, by the way.
No, it was great.
Um, you loved it?
Oh,
All
I
right,
loved
good.
it. It was great.
Good.
I
I'm
went
recovering Catholic, so go ahead.
well, I wasn't Catholic. I wasn't raised Catholic. I just went to
I
their
got you.
schools, right?
All right,
So,
beautiful.
different experience.
There you
We
go.
can get into well, let's shy away from the religion
We'll
conversation.
leave that out,
Yeah.
yes.
So one of the things that we had to wear uniforms, right? And I'm sure if
Yes,
you
you
went to
did,
Catholic
yeah.
school, you did also. And so the
Yeah.
benefit of a uniform is there's a sameness. But for
Yes.
girls, the benefit of a uniform is the lack of comparison to other girls. I look
Yeah.
at my friends and people at the time who went to a school that was co-ed or that was public or whatever that looked like. And there was an extra layer of time that was required to get up in the morning and just to get ready. And we're teaching
Right.
girls to do this at 10, 12,
Yeah.
13, 14 years old. How does that transfer
Yeah.
into how they are as a woman, right? And
Yeah.
when they get older and how they're making choices in order to quote unquote be presentable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of layers of it. And I think one thing that I've
Yeah.
noticed, at least in like partner relationships and closer relationships that I've had, sometimes people are like, well, it just takes you such a long time to get ready, rather than what about where we're going or the world that is outside of these four walls makes it so that in
Yeah.
order for me to just present and to be in the world, I have to put on all these layers of now I'm,
Yes.
older and like I like the way that I do things and I can,
Sure, sure.
but it took a long time for me to again going back to that knowing and that unpacking and understanding and so that I can do better. What parts of these things are things that I like and I enjoy about the way that I perceived am perceived, and what are other things that are just expectations because Cass always has it this kind of way, right? And really being
Yeah.
able to pick for myself what parts of those things exist, and what part of those things are imposed upon me.
Well, and there we go full circle with that, giving ourselves space to actually ideate or to introspect on, and why do I do
Yeah,
this? And how much of this, like, I love how you said that. How much of this do I genuinely like and I'm cool with? But if I take some time, how much of it is just like, that's just what's expected? I never really thought about it, you know? So having that space, that time to think, because when do we find the time to do it? When we're falling asleep, when we're nervous, when we're anxious, all the million thoughts. But to actually set aside that time to sit
yeah.
and think about those things.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
such a privilege
beautiful.
to be able to do that, really. I mean, so many people just we keep going and going and going. I was talking to someone earlier today, and one of the things she really prides herself on is taking time to stop and like be still. And
Yeah.
her purpose of doing that is to make sure that she doesn't just keep running in a direction that is not going to be fruitful for her business because she's a consultant. And
Right.
I thought that was really great. She was like, because you can keep going and you're spinning and spinning and spinning, but where are you
Yeah.
headed? Like you don't, but you
Yeah.
got to take some time, kind of cocoon in a little bit
Yeah.
and figure that out for yourself. And then really do truly think it has made me a better person. It has made me better for my friends and better for my family, better at work, better at all the things that I have going on because I understand I am a great person at making decisions for myself with the collective in mind rather than asking the collective to tell me what will work for me.
There's so much here, guys. It was just, I
You'll
know
have
we
to
have
have me
just a
back.
couple minutes left.
That's basically what that
Hundred
means.
percent, hundred
That's what
percent.
I'm hearing a
You
part
know,
2.
all right, beautiful. So we got I was just on another call earlier today, and I was talking to a buddy who I hadn't talked to in 8 9 years, and we just found ourselves talking about AI. And what's really funny, you probably would observe that conversation and say, there's two great clients for me right there. We were talking about how much we rely on AI, ChatGPT in particular, to help validate decisions we're making. And I guess what we were really saying is we don't trust ourselves in
Mm,
decisions around things that aren't our expertise, like marketing or some, higher business concept. We're like, yeah, this is how I engineer my prompt and this is how he does his. And ultimately, it's like, well, I probably could come to a good decision, but I seek so much validation in that it's probably not on a path to healthiness in that regard.
that's
You
actually
know,
such a interesting because there was a video that was circulating around a couple days ago of these two people having an interaction in a bodega or a convenience store, and they didn't know how to communicate without asking ChatGPT first. And it was, I mean,
right?
it's
Right?
hilarious. It's really,
Yeah,
one guy's coming in and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for," and then he asks Chat like, "What am I looking for? What am I here for?" And it gives these really, it also goes back to like you got to have a good engineered prompt and a well communicated prompt,
right,
but
right.
that's the tech side of us. But it was just really
Yes,
funny of the social communication skills that people are
yeah,
lacking genuinely because they're looking for validation inside of a machine.
yes,
And I mean, listen, there's certain things about business I just don't know, and I don't know if I have it
right.
the brain space to create it, so chat is great for that. All
Oh
these
yeah,
AI tools, these LLMs are amazing for all of those things. But
yes,
one of the things that are losing is that ability to, again, know what is best for us, right? The guy in the
right,
bodega isn't gonna know what I need what I came here to buy.
right, right,
Right? So
right.
ChatGPT doesn't know all of my things, right? And
Yes,
I can see how some people would see that as advantageous, but really, is it? I mean, that's a whole nother conversation
that's
for another day.
absolutely. Well, Cass,
I do
I'll
have
tell
to
you,
make a
you,
little plug though, because
yeah, please
that is
do.
where there's a new tool that's coming to the market called Empressa AI that I've been so excited to partner with and to participate in. It's a
Yeah,
AI model that's built for women by women. It's not just exclusive to women; anybody can use it.
sure.
However,
Sure.
one of the great things about the model is it has like a human component, and experts like myself have added to the LLM, so you get
Right.
expert advice specifically from a Josh or a Cass or whomever it
Right.
is, and it tells you based off of what you have had conversations with before, this is what Cass would recommend. However, Josh might recommend
Mm,
something different. This is what I
right.
think it could apply to you, right? And so being able to
Yeah.
have those experts and those real humans as part of the language model and the learning model, it's it's a game changer. So
That's beautiful. That's Impressa.
Impressa AI. Yep. It actually
Nice.
launches, I guess it will be October the 10th. And
Okay.
we're having a
Cool. So
skill up in November. So it's for
beautiful.
everybody. I'll send you the link because I would love your
Please
listeners to be able
do.
to have that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's you'll get certified in AI. It's a 1-day skill up, November the 7th, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be really great. It's gonna be really cool.
That's awesome. Thanks for mentioning that. So, Cass, I want to be respectful of your time. I know we have a short
I know,
time.
it went
Hopefully,
fast.
I know. Hopefully, you'll come back and join us
Absolutely, I
again.
will.
I want to talk all things CRN and channel and all that awesome stuff as well. But for now, you told us it's easy to find you online. Give us one place where people can find you and start their journey of understanding who you are and
Easy.
what you
I
do.
am casscooper.com.
Beautiful.
Easy.
We'll put that up here or somewhere. So,
Right
everyone
there.
else, thanks for joining us today. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if we earned it. And Cass, thanks for joining
Thank you
us.
for having
Hopefully,
me,
you'll
Josh.
come
I'll
back
see you
again
next
soon.
time, yeah?
Right
All
on.
right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.